following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.
Back at you, Gloves Off. I'm Professor Buitrón, and today I have Judge Oscar Liendo, Justice of the Peace here in Webb County. We're going to be touching base on the changes in the JP Court and also what are the different aspects of Justice of the Peace and what they mandate. How are we doing, Judge?
Fine, how are you? Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming over. We've talked before. We've talked about some of the changes in some of the laws and truancy and so on and so forth. And what do you see most of, especially, let's talk about truancy. Is that a problem?
Truancy, yes, it has become an issue. Now, the Laredo, I handle the Laredo Independent School District schools, which is Lamar, Nixon, Memorial. And we had some cases last week. We had a total of about 20 students that were issued citations to appear before me. And so it was mainly truancy. I mean, they're not going to school for different reasons, of course. And as far as the state law is concerned, if you have 10 or more absences in a 6-month period, you will be referred to a justice court. So we started off with 20 last week, and from now on, every 2 weeks, we'll see what comes about.
Sure. What are the most common reasons for a child not to go in there and not to go to school, or that you end up seeing them in there?
A lot of the reasons is basically these students, of course, as you know, social media's around, they stay up late, Facebook, with messaging with friends. They don't want to get up in the morning. And a lot of the parents, as if ever you want to go to my court, it's a lot of single parents, a lot of moms. Of course, they work from 5 in the morning until 7 at night. So that child, they just kind of wake them up in the morning and, okay, go to school and we'll see you, because they have to work. And the child either stays asleep or just goes in late to school. A lot of the absences are first and second period.
And that eventually you'll start accumulating it.
Yes, eventually it's, and an absence is not a full day. It's whatever class you miss, it counts as an absence. So you come up to 10 pretty quick. If you miss a full day, you know, you're talking 5, 6 absences. So it'll accumulate pretty quick and you'll be headed to court.
Judge, one question is that when we used to be in school and you were tardy to class, so many tardies became an absence. Is that still going on now? Or no?
No, you know, at one time it was, you know, back in the day. Now it's, you know, tardies, unless you have a valid excuse to be tardy, medical reason, etc. But if not, a tardy, if you're not there by, you know, the time they roll call, you're marked absent. And if not, you of course, you have the chance to appeal that, but eventually you have to go through the process.
Absolutely. And what are the age brackets? Are you start seeing younger kids, or it's throughout all ages?
So the bracket is from 12 to 19 years old. You know, so we have children, but when it comes from, sometimes we do have parents contributing to non-attendance, which are your elementary school level children. You know, kinder, pre-kinder, first, second, third. If they don't go to school, they don't come to court, but their parent must be in court to tell us why that child is either being tardy, absent, or not present in school.
And things change with the tardy, with the truancy, right?
Yes.
And it used to be a criminal, right?
Yes. At one time it was a criminal offense. Back in the day, of course, if you were 17, 18, 19 years old, you didn't want to go to school, you could go to jail. And back in 2015, a couple of years back, they decided that, you know, it was, you know, kind of the change of time. They didn't want to expose the young adult or the adolescent to, of course, to jail in such a young age. So they made it a civil case now. So now you file it as a civil case, not as a criminal case. The child's name is, of course, not mentioned in any of the court records. It's only their initials. And you treat it as a civil case. And before you could send them to jail for not going to school, now it's a matter of just finding them, which is an automatic $50 fee for court costs for every student that goes to court. Then after that, we have the discretion to charge them up to $100 a day per absence.
Understood. So it can accumulate as well. But let's say you have a 16-year-old, and he's now, you know what, I'm going to get a job because I'm going to go help my mom or my dad, and we're doing pretty bad financially, because we have those cases as well. Can they be referred to like a GED program or some other type of educational facility?
And some of, as you mentioned, some of the students that went there, he says, you know what, I don't want to work anymore. You know, I have this job that I'm doing, you know, what other, you know, manual labor, you know, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Sure.
etc. Because I need to help my mom. You know, I need to help them with the expenses, etc. So, you know, they're lagging behind on their education. But of course, sometimes when they get the taste of that money, they leave the education behind. But then again, like I tell them, you don't want a job. I mean, you want a career. That's why you want to get educated. But we do have that option, Professor, that if the child decides that, you know what, I need to work, and I said, well, again, for you to go to an alternative school, you know, you have to, of course, provide good grades, have good attendance, and be there on time. And then we can refer them to Premier, Gateway, Job Corps, you know, there's the Workforce Commission that you can actually either work in the morning, go to school in the afternoon, or vice versa. You know, go to school and then work. You know, they can adjust to that, but of course, the student has to show that that he wants to continue his education, and of course, let him work so he can help out his family.
Absolutely. And throughout the year, how many cases would you say of truancy that you get through your court? What's the number?
You know, it's like I said, it's now the Laredo Independent School District now has a computer system that actually tracks them. So we'll see, I guess, eventually more this year. We started with 20 right off the bat a week ago. So, you know, in the next couple of months, hopefully not that many. We don't like the truancy, but if it'll be, usually it runs from 10 to 20. It's almost the end of the year. So I'm thinking maybe 50 cases in the next couple of months. But, you know, of course, you know, we want those children to stay in school and get their diploma. Because as you know, Professor, nowadays, even with a diploma, it's hard to get a good job.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's it. And people do not realize that, you know, that even with a diploma, even with a vocational school or a certificate of some, because some vocation schools give you a certificate of some sort, it's kind of hard to land a job.
Yeah.
And you need to really work, and education can never stop that. You always have to have it continue, and whatever it is, you know, and even if later on you want to pick up something else, please do so, because that's what you need to do. But I was going to ask you, with all the vocation schools that are out there, what do you change, like the Job Corps, do you all say, you know what, this is a recurring student, he needs to go to school, or how does that all work? Or do they come in there and say how many students you have, or they come to the school district, or how is that?
it's usually up to the parent and the student. I mean, because of course we can refer them. You know, you have different schools, and of course, and we're encourage the students to stay in school, because of course not all students are going to be lawyers or judges or whatever it might be, but there are vocations. I mean, air conditioning and heating is a big thing here in Laredo. I mean, because you can see there's a lot of air conditioning companies as well. You know, car repair, car painting. So we ask the student and the parent for them to inquire into Job Corps, into the Texas workforce, and into the alternative schools to see if they qualify, because everything is an application process. So you have to apply first. So in the meantime, when you apply, you still have to show good grades and show good attendance as well.
Absolutely. Now, changing off from the track of truancy, the main changes that are coming up this year toward the JP Court, you were talking about recovery?
Yes, right now, in this next couple of months, our civil caseload, the dollar limit is at $10,000.
Okay.
So come September 1st, our jurisdiction will go up to 20,000. Right now, we receive, of course, lawsuits from credit card companies, local hospitals, etc., local, different agencies here in Laredo and around Webb County for collection purposes, of course, for civil lawsuits.
Sure.
But it's going to go up to 20,000, and we expect the caseload increase as well in that respect.
And this comes of age in September.
And September 1st. And we had spoken about, you commented on the recovery,
Right.
It's called a writ of recovery, turnover orders. Now, because there's so much debt in the state of Texas, as far as credit cards are concerned, Texas is ranked second in the nation on credit card debt at over $67 billion. So companies are coming back after the people that owe that money, which is now a turnover order, a writ of recovery, which now they can actually go after your non-exempt property, which means basically they cannot go after your homestead, etc., but they can, go after property extra property that you might have, go into your bank accounts, etc. So it's without going through the writ of garnishment or writ of execution, they can actually now go after your property through, through an attorney's firm.
Absolutely. And you're going to start seeing a lot of that.
Yes,
I think
eventually.
you're going to be having an overload into that.
Yeah, and we do have some as well right now. We do have
Sure.
caseloads that are coming in on a daily basis, but we will see an increase come September 1st.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing that jump, especially if it went to $20,000.
$20,000, yes, sir.
You're going to see a lot of people, you know what, they're going to fixate over here.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And credit card companies are going to be the number one. It's going to the collection companies.
Collection companies, as you well know, I mean, credit cards, sometimes you get, 3 or 4 in the mail every day. And, they address you or address the recently graduated student. And
Absolutely.
of course, they want you to use their product. But of course, they don't understand. You have to check that interest rate because there sometimes are very high. And eventually you start spending, and if you don't pay back or you don't have a job, then eventually it'll come back to haunt you, with liens on your property, and maybe even taking your non-exempt property from you if you don't pay those credit cards.
And that's going to be hard. You have a lot of businesses that work on a contractual agreement,
Yes, sir.
and you're going to see a lot more of that.
Yes, that's what we're expecting come September 1st, and we're getting ready for it.
Furniture stores that rent out furniture, car leases. I mean, it's just going to go.
Yeah,
Bonkers.
because you have furniture stores, you rent the tires,
It's
it's
going to
come in here.
It's going to be something that's going to be. You're going to see a lot.
Yes.
And I'm glad that in your precinct you have 2 places in Judges as well.
Yes, 2 places, yes. We have
And
2 places.
we might push some of the other places some of the other precincts to go open up another.
Of course, yes, I
It's
know.
going to be an overload.
We have 2 JPs here in West Central Laredo, and we have 2 JPs in the south, and of course, 1 in the Tri-City area, which is Miranda City, Blooming. And then, of course, we have 1 in the north, which I guess they have been pushing to get another one because, of course, that's a high growth area.
Yep, and it's with this that's coming in, you're going to see that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get another JP in the north.
Well, I want to thank you for always standing up for the community.
Thank you.
You've been doing an
Professor.
excellent job, and that's just the way it is.
Thank you.
And what would you say to parents out there that know that the truancy is coming? What can you tell them right now and say, you know what?
It's now, there is a program that you can actually, log into the website at Laredo Independent School District and maybe even United Independent School District. Check your attendance. Now, before we used to bring your report cards and you had to bring them to your parents and sign. Now it's all, electronically sent. So make sure you, excuse me, you check the attendance, check the students' grades. And if you need help, of course, there's counseling services, there's tutorial services, there's different things that a child can do to advance himself. Of course, it's a certain percentage that come to truancy, but it's always well and very important for the parent to be involved in the student's education.
Absolutely.
Because if you let it go a day or two and okay, we'll take care of it later, can become a problem. So we need to stay on top of their education and their educational goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, thank you for being here. And I know it's early vote.
Yes.
It is out there. And folks, it's early vote. We've got another week and a half. Exercise your right. It doesn't matter who you're voting for. Just go out there and vote.
Yeah.
And it's very important.
Yes, exercise your right to vote. No matter who you vote for, just get out there and vote, because your vote is your voice.
Absolutely. Judge,
Professor,
thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
The following political paid advertisements do not reflect the political opinions of the program or its associates. Any political campaign or candidate who wishes to purchase advertising can do so. Advertising is open to all on behalf of Gloves Off.